now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's live stream, we have some very exciting news to talk about because, as you probably already noticed, Ethereum has been hitting all-time high over and over and over again for the last couple of days. We want to talk about that and do a bunch of technical analysis on that, and we're also going to be giving you some updates on the Ethereum 2.0 launch because there is some very good news coming out about how many people are staking Ethereum in anticipation that ETH 2.0 is going to launch. Proof of stake is coming, and Ethereum fees will be going down, allowing for more scalability and increased price action going on Ethereum. We have a lot to talk about in today's live stream. We are joined, as always, by your president, Non-Crypto Tim.
What's up, everybody? I wanted to help people out. There was mass confusion yesterday on the stream on the XRP issue, and people are saying that my hat, which is a hurling hat, that's an H up there, not an X, was actually the X of XRP. I think, if I'm not wrong, XRP is like this.
It's to the side, yeah.
But in case it helps you guys out, I have a solution.
Yes, there we go.
Did that work? Is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
no,
works.
it's a little bit exposed.
It's a little exposed.
Yeah.
Well,
It's close.
So is XRP. So
Oh,
it
dang.
makes sense.
Got him. Guys, we are joined also by your Smangatang. How are we doing, Smay?
I'm doing very good, guys.
You're doing very good?
Yeah, I'm waiting for this lower third to go away. Thank you.
You're waiting for the lower third to go away. That's great. Guys, we have a lot to talk about. Oh, my gosh. Switch to Tim. You actually get to see the hair for one. No.
My hair's just crazy. That's like I just like having that.
Well, hey, I've been looking like Ace
saves
Ventura.
you from haircuts.
I've been looking like Ace Ventura for the last 3 days. I finally got a haircut. I was a week overdue. I am actually going to be trimming my own beard tomorrow, but I'm also going to be trimming Tim's beard tomorrow because hashtag cut the beard, chop the tree. I think I might be winning some of our
I don't
prize
think it's happening
predictions.
this week, man. I don't think that's
We
happening.
shall see. I might be winning. Drop a like on the stream if you think Team Jeb is going to win. Guys,
Drop a like on the stream if you think Team Jeb is going to lose.
we have something special happening at 1,500 likes that we tried to do yesterday, but y'all didn't hit the like goal, so we didn't do it. We're going to be doing it today at 1,500 likes. We've been trying to do this for 3 days, and you guys keep failing to hit the like button. Come on, smash that like button. It's completely free. We have some breaking news I want to go over, though, so let's go ahead and jump onto my screen. Smay. Let's go ahead and look at this. This is interesting. After this, we're going to be jumping into some Ethereum 2.0 updates and technical analysis, but let's start with this. Alleged 366 million Bitcoin mixer busted after analysis of 10 years of blockchain data. Let's go back to full screen. Hang on 1 second. Let's explain. What's a Bitcoin mixer? You might be wondering, Jeb, what's a Bitcoin mixer? I'll tell you. A Bitcoin mixer is an illegal service where a provider mixes up and mashes together a bunch of different cryptocurrency to try and hide the origin of the cryptocurrency. Essentially, it's a way of turning Bitcoin into a privacy coin. The reason it's illegal is because it's generally used to launder money. There's a lot of money there's a lot of illegal proceeds that go through these Bitcoin mixers, and that's why this one was shut down. So let's go back to the screen and let's keep reading. A Swedish-Russian citizen has been charged with operating a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin laundering service after authorities traced his crypto transactions all the way from 2011. Guys, remember, Bitcoin is not a private cryptocurrency. A lot of people think that it's anonymous and private. It's not. It is somewhat anonymous, but it's certainly not private. U.S. authorities have arrested the alleged mastermind behind the multi-million-dollar darknet-based BTC mixing service, Bitcoin Fog, after analyzing 10 years of blockchain data. If you guys are interested in reading this whole article, you can go ahead and type it in. It is on Cointelegraph. I'm just going to go ahead and read right down here and kind of get through this quickly so we can jump onto Ethereum. With blockchain analytics, the thing we say over and over is that all the activity is on the ledger forever. And if you did something bad 10 years ago, you can be caught and arrested for it today. This fella by the name of, I'm forgetting his name. He is up here somewhere. I forget his name, but either way, Roman I'm not even going to try and butcher that. It's Russian. Anyway, he made at least $8 million from the fees he was charging for the service. So let's go ahead and discuss that for just a second. Guys, Obviously, none of you guys are doing anything illegal. You guys are all paying your taxes properly and everything's all squeaky clean. But for anyone who might be watching this stream, who might not be falling into that cap, Bitcoin is not your coin because Bitcoin is very much public. In fact, every transaction on the history of Bitcoin is public. So 1, don't break the law. 2, don't be stupid and do it on Bitcoin. Anyway, guys, we want to move on and talk about Ethereum, so drop a 1 in chat if you were excited for that. Tim, what are your thoughts on this news, and where do you think Ethereum is going? I know you had a little bit that you want to say on EIP 1559.
Well, that's a whole can of worms, Do we want to jump into that right now, or do we want to jump into that a little later with
We can
EIP
jump into that later.
1559?
We can jump into that later.
What I'm thinking, though, if I want to look at the chart real quick, I know you were showing this. I have a prediction that by tomorrow morning at 9:30, that is going to be somewhere around 3,000. I think we're going to be close. I don't know if we're quite going to get there unless something massively changes. I know there's been a lot of good fundamental news in the last couple of days. If you look at the charts still show a lot of positivity. But I know if you look at the 4-hourly chart, for example, it looks like we're slowing down on the MACD for sure.
Let's jump on my charts, mate, so we can everybody can see what he's talking about.
Yeah. Okay, you're looking at the 4-hourly?
Yes, we're on the 4-hourly.
Yeah, so, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like my prediction of 3,000 in terms of our competition to win it. Do I think could I put a lot of money on the line that it's actually going to hit 3,000? I don't know if I could, although I really like, within the last hour, we hit a new all-time high of 2,800 exactly. So we're still pushing, but we're kind of in uncharted waters with Ethereum, where I don't know how well we can really look at the past, which is what technical analysis is, look at the past to predict the future. We might be in a new cycle of breaking that, but I don't know. Jeb, what are your thoughts on that?
So let's go ahead and do some Ethereum technical analysis and get you guys caught up, and then we'll move on to this article over here. Not that one, actually. We're going to move on to this guy right here, talking about ETH 2.0. So let's start with Ethereum. As you guys who have been following the channel recently will know, Ethereum is in a rising trading channel right now, which constitutes a bull flag. Those bull flags have price targets, and the price target is up around $3,200. That's my price prediction for Ethereum about a month from now. However, whenever you're in a trading channel, there is definitely potential that you can, reject from the resistance level and pull down to the support. If you'll notice, this is our third test of the resistance, but we've only had 2 major tests of the support. It is very much possible that Ethereum rejects off of $2,800, this new all-time high right here, pulls down to this uptrending level of support around $2,300, then bounces and goes to $3,200. Don't discount the possibility of this leg happening. It is very much still in the cards that Ethereum could reject, and in fact, there's a couple reasons to believe that might happen. Number one, something Tim pointed out earlier, good job for you, Tim, you're learning technical analysis, was this rising wedge right here on the ETH 4-hourly chart. For anyone who's gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, which is linked in the description box down below, and by the way, gigantic sale coming up on May the 4th, watch out for that. Anyone who's been through that will know from our video on wedges and pennants that wedges, which this is a wedge, break bearish, they break in the opposite direction that they are pointing 70% of the time. So if it's pointing up, 70% likelihood it's going to break down. If it's pointed down, 70% likelihood it's going to break up. It's the opposite breakout. It's a reversal pattern is what it is. It indicates you're going to break in the other direction. And that actually stands to reason because if we look at the 4-hourly MACD, we can see, like Tim was saying earlier, astute observation, my young Padawan, and I say young even though you're 7 years older than me.
Older, but
you're like
young in terms of crypto years.
You're young in terms of crypto years. There we go. If we look at our recent crosses on Bitcoin on Ethereum's MACD, you can see whenever it crosses bearish, boom, downtrend. Bearish, boom, downtrend. Whenever it crosses bullish, uptrend. Crosses bullish, uptrend. We can very clearly see that in this case, the MACD should be listened to, and the MACD looks like it might be about to cross bearish in the next little while. That is, of course, contingent on whether or not Ethereum breaks $2,800 and rallies to his price target of $3,000, or if it breaks to the downside and pulls back to my price target at $2,628. I am inclined to believe that I am going to be right by tomorrow. I think that Ethereum is actually going to reject here because of the fact that we've rallied so far in the last couple of days. In just the last 2 days, guys, in the last 4 days, we've rallied 30%. If we look at the volume, we can see the volume is tapering off. The RSI is overextended. The MACD is about to reverse and cross bearish. And if we look at the TD sequential, we can see that we're sitting at 8 up here on the 4-hourly chart. Another 4-hourly chart green candlestick will result in a 9 flash, which is another bearish signal. Guys, I love Ethereum. I'm a big fan of it. We're about to talk about some fantastic news coming out on Ethereum, but we cannot deny what is in front of us. The technicals right now are predicting a correction on Ethereum. That being said, there is always uncertainty in the market. Let's go to full screen. I want to explain this, guys. There is always going to be uncertainty in the market. That is simply the way the game works. If you guys have gone through CT2A, there's a video over there called A Game of Statistics and Probabilities. What technical analysis is statistical and probabilistic analysis. Let me break that up because that's a bunch of fancy terms. Those mean something very simple. Statistics simply means there's no certainties, and we need to look at the likelihood of something happening based on what has already happened. We can use previous data sets to extrapolate into the future. That's what technical analysis is doing trend analysis, looking back on previous trends and using them to predict what will happen. But that's not certainty. This is more of weather forecasting or sports betting rather than at astronomy where the laws of physics are set. There's a lot of uncertainty here. And the probability just means that, hey, this could happen or this could happen. There's no 100% guarantees in technical analysis. The analysis suspects that Ethereum will break to the downside here, but of course there is always the possibility, that it is not going to do that. That being said, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on that in the chat, and Tim, I'd like to hear your thoughts on where you think it's going also, buddy.
Well, so here's the thing. We're in a little pickle. First of all, I want to acknowledge in chat. I want to thank you guys for the shout outs to all the Tims. All joking aside, every name is special. There's just something really special about the name Tim. So continue that. I think you guys just continue to post famous Tims and their superiority. That being said, the Ethereum question.
Tim carries pride with it.
When you look at it from the
It's not
technical,
like I was, named after a religion or anything. One of the most popular religions in the world. But,
What?
I don't know. Anyway, so if you look at the chart from a technical standpoint, we are looking at what Jeb is saying, because like I said, I was looking at this morning, this ascending wedge and traditionally break down. If you guys look back at Bitcoin a couple days ago, we were literally at a descending wedge that we should have dropped probably all the way down to close to 43, 42,000, but we broke early. So these things don't always happen exactly how we think they're going to happen. The other thing is on the Ethereum news, we're going to talk about ETH 2.0 and the updates happening there. But also we saw a bunch of ETFs being formed and talked about this week, which is showing that there's a lot of demand in the corporate world for people trying to get into Ethereum. Here's the thing. I still think Bitcoin is king, but I think we're in a conundrum right now where people are actually debating and they're kind of holding up which is the more valuable coin. We're watching Bitcoin's dominance lower. That's for a lot of reasons, but I think some people are taking that into account with what's happening in Ethereum, and they're saying, is this Ethereum trying to make a massive rally to overtake Bitcoin's dominance? I don't think that's true, but that being said, that would be enough information, Jeb, is that not, to continue to push this rally to continue to climb.
Yeah, no, guys, you got to realize rallies are not just predicated on technical analysis. They're also built on fundamental analysis. And if the fundamentals of a cryptocurrency are getting better, you can bet your bottom dollar the price is probably going to go up. Something really funny someone said in chat is that we should start something called Safe Beard.
Safe Beard?
Yeah, we should start Safe Beard. It'll moonshot, guys. Someone also asked, Tim, this is a question for you.
Okay.
Is Ethereum going to get 9 touchdowns by tomorrow?
9 touchdowns is hard to get. I would say, what is the definition of 9 touchdowns for Ethereum?
Yeah, ask him.
Not
I don't know.
9,000, but if 9 touchdowns, I don't know. I think we're going too deep with this one.
Over 9 touchdowns. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and jump onto my screen. We're going to talk about this Ethereum 2.0 news. This is pretty big. Guys, remember, smash that like button. For 1,000 likes, we'll go into overtime, and we'll go an extra 15 minutes. And for 1,500 likes, we have a special segment that we are really, really hoping that we're going to get to show you guys. So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're about to hit 100K subs. And if you subscribe right now, you'll get to say you were here before 100K. Anyway, there is over 4 million Ethereum locked up in Ethereum 2.0. What does this mean? That's what we're talking about. Users have already staked more than $11 billion worth of Ethereum as part of ETH's 2.0 Phase 0 deployment. This is a big deal, and we're going to explain why. This is not breaking news. This is just an update on what's going on with ETH 2.0. The total amount of Ethereum staked on the Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract has exceeded 4, F-O-R, that's a typo, million tokens worth more than $11 billion at current prices. ETH 2.0 is an ambitious multi-year upgrade plan that aims to switch Ethereum blockchain from its current proof of work consensus algorithm, which caps it out around 15 transactions per second. It is the reason that we're having such massively high gas fees over to the proof of stake system that they are trying to switch to. This will significantly reduce the network's energy consumption and hardware requirements and potentially result in lower transactional fees, which is what I just said. Here's the deal. Currently, ETH 2.0 is in the first stage of deployment, dubbed Phase 0, and I'm going to show you the phases here in just a second. To initially launch it at the end of 2020, the network required over 16,000 validators, users running the software, and 500,000 Ethereum deposited. By the way, the minimum staking requirement for Ethereum, unless you go into some staking pool or whatever, I'm not talking about that. To be your own staker and to be a forger of the Ethereum proof of stake system, you have to stake at least 32 Ethereum, which at current value, I want to say is around $90,000. So we have over 16,000 people that have staked over $90,000 individually, cumulatively worth $11 billion. They needed to stake 500,000 Ethereum for us to get started. It is now up to 4 million. Initially, community members were seemingly reluctant to lock up their coins. The minimum threshold was crossed almost at the last moment before the deadline. We talked about that a few months ago when that occurred back in December. Since then, however, inflows of ETH into the Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract have grown considerably. By December 4th last year, they had locked up a total of 1 million ETH. Just 20 days later, it was 2 million ETH on Christmas Eve. We can now see that ever since this, in December, Ethereum was trading at $600 per token. By the way, in case you're new here, Ethereum has more than 400% grown, and Bitcoin has grown like 600% in the last 6 months. It's crazy how much growth we've seen. It surged to over $2,700 since then. So let's go back to full screen and let's discuss. Guys, here's the deal. Ethereum, first of all, I think that Bitcoin being proof of work is a very good thing. We've talked about this for many reasons in many streams. I'm not going to go too deep in it, but I will tell you this. The fact that Bitcoin is proof of work is the thing that secures it and makes it the limited supply digital cash that we want it to be. Bitcoin should always remain proof of work, and by the way, it always will. There's no chance. Some people are talking about over on the New York Times, oh, Bitcoin might be moving to proof of stake. Do your research. That's not going to happen. Bitcoin's not moving to proof of stake. It is proof of work, and it should stay that way. It's a good thing that it is. That being said, Ethereum is developed for an entirely different purpose than Bitcoin. Ethereum is developed to be a platform for smart contracts and other development that can happen on blockchain. For that to occur, it needs to be able to process incredibly high throughputs. For reasons that, again, we've gone into in other streams, Bitcoin can actually be just fine only being able to handle about 500,000 transactions a day or 7 to 10 a second. That's fine because there are layer 2 solutions that will scale Bitcoin to the many orders of magnitude higher transactions that it need. Ethereum can't do that. Ethereum needs to be able to handle hundreds of thousands of transactions very, very quickly so that all of these decentralized applications and NFTs and all of this that are getting built on top of it can actually operate. That is very important for Ethereum's development. So it moving to proof of stake is a very good thing. This article is simply saying that the staking requirement that is needed to kick this whole movement off has been more than 800% passed, and that is a very good thing for anyone who wants Ethereum to move to proof of stake. Let's jump to my screen really quickly, and I'll show you guys a chart that some of you may have seen, but it's something that you should be aware of. How they relate Ethereum 1x, which is how Ethereum runs right now, Ethereum 2.0, and rollups. I'm not going to go through all the phases of development and rollout of Ethereum's launch, but right now, this is what we are saying is that we are moving into phase 0 on Ethereum's rollout. We need to have Ethereum start getting staked, and we want to see all of that occur. There's different updates that are going on Ethereum. Tim, you might be about to talk about EIP 1559, but the point is Ethereum is moving in the right direction, and anyone holding Ethereum, you should be very excited about this because this is going to lead to massive increases in Ethereum's price as its fundamentals continue to grow. So let's go to full screen, and Tim, if you want to talk about that just a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to talk too long, and Jeb, I want you to give your take on it as well. But I mean, unless you guys have not been paying attention to Ethereum, EIP 1559, which is the only thing we really know about the Berlin fork, or the London, sorry, the Berlin fork just came out. The London fork happening in, I believe, July. It has caused a lot of debate, a lot of skepticism, but a lot of encouragement because it should help to solve, it doesn't completely solve the issue, but it helps to solve the high gas fees. However, at this point, unless something has happened that I am unaware of, and you guys are more than welcome in chat to correct me, it doesn't look like it's going to get a 51% vote from the miners. And this is a problem because being a decentralized coin, you have to have that 51% vote for it to pass.
Consensus.
So here's the thing. Ultimately, I think EIP 1559 is good for Ethereum, and I think it's needed. The problem is, though, if the miners don't vote it through, you got a couple different issues. Number one is that the gas fees will continue to skyrocket, and that gives Ethereum a lot of problems. But the number two thing is if the miners don't put it through, will Ethereum's production team, what would you call them? Their development team. If their development team decides, you know what, we're going to do it anyway because it was best for the project, now we're moving away from a decentralized system and it's becoming, at least partially centralized, which is also a problem. So, Jeff, I'm going to let you kind of chime in on that and tell us what you think. I know Smay has some thoughts on this as well, so if he wants to chime in.
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, at the end of the day, what needs to occur is that a lot of these updates that are coming out on Ethereum need to happen if Ethereum wants to achieve what it wants to do. Ethereum has to lay foundations and infrastructure for it to be able to scale to where it wants to go. It's really important that these kind of updates come out, and we're probably going to talk about EIP 1559 in the coming stream, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Smay, if you have anything to say on that, feel free to chime in. But otherwise, I want to go ahead and announce that we are, because someone said this in chat, we are going to be doing a watch party for the Africa special on Cardano when that happens. I think it starts at 12:30.
I think that's what Das was saying. Now, I want to clarify, and Smay will be able to back this up. Our computer, blue screened? That's
blue screened, yeah.
Our computer blue screened yesterday, which it is working now.
Computer.
Thank the Lord, we are working well right now. If we do all of a sudden out of nowhere just go dark, it's because our computer crashed again. So I am hoping that the computer works well. Smay, what are your thoughts? What is your prediction on that?
The computer?
Yeah.
My prediction's pretty bullish on this computer, guys.
Come on.
It's been vibing for me lately.
Nine touchdown computer.
Touchdown computer. Touchdown PC.
We're going to make it through the stream, guys. Just
That's
hold
great.
on to your pants. Okay?
Hold on to your pantaloons and smash that like button, because we are not going to be going into overtime at 10:15 unless we hit 1,000 likes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel because we're a fast-growing channel and we provide information, and you should join. You should join the channel just because we're awesome and you're awesome, and we like telling you that you're awesome and making you become more awesome. So subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CryptoJeb if you haven't already. Guys, we are going to do some technical analysis on Bitcoin. You guys ready? I think we're ready. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's jump onto the chart and let's go ahead and start. Tim is trying to get me to short Bitcoin. I'm not going to, and I'm going to show you why. I didn't tell Tim why I'm not going to, but I'm going to show you guys. Well, I was going to do it on stream.
Go for it. I want to hear.
Yes. So, guys, on Bitcoin, I will show you what we're looking at right now. Bitcoin is currently forming what we would call an inverse head and shoulders pattern with a left shoulder here, a head here, and a right shoulder here. We would expect Bitcoin to trade sideways for the next couple of days and then break $57,000 and rally to the upside if this inverse head and shoulders pattern does actually result in that rally. Here's the thing about inverse head and shoulders patterns, guys. They have two levels that you need to be aware of. A level called the neckline, which is right here. This line, if you look at the shoulder, the shoulder rack, the anatomy of a human, there's a line right there. And if we look at an inverse head and shoulders pattern, there is a neckline right there. That represents the neck of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. We also have the shoulder line right here, which is across the top of your shoulders, obviously. This shoulder line, typically, the market is going to pull back down to create that right shoulder, and then it's going to move to the upside following it. When you do that, what you're able to do is you're actually able to do a price target with that inverse head and shoulders pattern, which, by the way, we did one not too long ago, and it ended up coming almost perfectly correct. There was an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. We do our extrapolation. Look at how close we came to exactly where it was predicting. In this case, this inverse head and shoulders pattern predicts that Bitcoin should rally to $63,000 probably in the next week or two. That being said, Tim wants me to short it because of this. Let me show you what he's talking about.
I want to clarify also when I told you to short it.
Yes, you told me to short it $100 ago.
Nope,
so.
I told you to short it when it was sitting at 54.5.
That was not where it was sitting.
That is what it was sitting at earlier.
We can find out real quick. Yeah. It was sitting at
54.40 is what.
Yeah. Okay. No, he's right. I take it back. He's right. So he was telling me to short it. Here's the deal: Bitcoin could potentially pull back to around $53,000 on its current level of support. If it does that, then it will fulfill the prophecy of the inverse head and shoulders pattern, saying it needs to pull back down there. A lot of people are wondering why I'm not saying down here. Why are we not using these wicks right here as our shoulder level? Well, at the end of the day, guys, you have to use some discernment. You have to use some wisdom. This is not 1 + 1 = 2. This is more like a super complex math equation that you have to use a lot of wisdom to figure out. In this case, if Bitcoin does this and breaks to the upside, it is likely going to rally. Here's the deal. If we look out on the daily chart, there is a very important level of resistance that we need to break to do that, and it's none other than the 20 daily EMA. You can see we rejected off of it right here at $55,200. By the way, for everybody asking about the Facebook news, we're going to talk about that in a second, and the trade setup that I mentioned, we will get to that here in just a second, so hold tight. Bitcoin needs to break this 20 daily EMA. Why? The 20 daily exponential moving average is a moving average that determines when you're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Down here, we're in a downtrend. Right here, we're in a downtrend. Bitcoin has been in a downtrend for the last couple of days. We are below that 20 EMA. We need to get above it. Drop a 1 in chat if you're in CC2A and you've watched the 20 EMA video. It is a very important exponential moving average, and that video alone is worth the entire course, so join with the link below. If we break through that, then we will probably at the same time see a bullish MACD cross on Bitcoin, and that will likely rally us all the way to our price target up here of around $62,000. That is a big if, though. We need to see Bitcoin break the 20 EMA, and we need to see Bitcoin break the neckline at $57,000, and we need to see a bullish MACD cross. If all those things happen, we're probably going to 62K. Let's go to full screen, and that is going to be a fantastic swing trading opportunity that we're going to look out for. Did you want to say something, Tim?
No, someone said on the stream, don't you ever correct Jeb and interrupt him. And you're right. My apologies, Jeb.
How dare you?
This is
How dare you?
I have to take my hat off.
How dare you, Tim?
And this is what you guys have to look at now.
Tisk.
But yeah.
Man.
All right.
How about that? That's just sad.
Yeah.
Tisk. Can you believe that, guys? You gotta do better, Tim.
I know. I'm
gotta do
working on
better.
it. I'm working on it.
You're working on it?
I go to anger management all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm getting better every
Cool.
day.
Okay. Well, I forgive you. Guys, smash that like button if you like our goofiness. If we get to 1,000 likes, we will go into overtime and extend the stream by 15 minutes. You got 20 minutes to get another 300 like. So smish the leak. Guys, here's the deal on Bitcoin.
Like the stream.
Like the stream.
All right, back to it.
All right. What was I saying? I have no idea what I was talking about. I have literally no clue.
We were talking about. I think we were about to go into Facebook. We're
about to go into Facebook.
conundrum.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I made a video yesterday talking about the Facebook news. I think it was a video, or we talked about it. I don't know. Days are running together. We talked about at some point on the channel yesterday about me entering a trade on Bitcoin in anticipation of the Facebook news coming out that Facebook was going to buy Bitcoin. Here's the thing. I forgot that I had a haircut at the very moment that stream was going, so I couldn't place the trade. So I didn't place the trade. I'm glad I didn't, because quite frankly, I spoke a little bit incorrectly yesterday. I said I was going to enter the trade as soon as the stream started, and if I didn't hear anything, I was going to exit the trade. What I meant to say, and I do apologize for this, is that I was going...
Sorry, I just read a really funny comment, bro.
You're good. You're good. Keep going, Jeff.
Keep going. Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right, Tim Fields. That's
Sorry,
pretty funny.
I couldn't hold it back.
That's
Keep
hilarious.
going.
That's pretty funny.
Keep going.
Carla likes that. Anyway, here's
Carla,
the deal.
who the heck is Carla?
Krista, not
Krista,
Carla.
yes.
Oh, that was rude.
Dang.
What?
You're getting her name wrong?
You know what? I'm trying to make a point. Y'all making jokes about balls dropping over here.
Let's go.
I'm in the
Let's
middle
go.
of a
Keep
point.
going. I will
You guys
compose
distracted me.
myself.
Don't even say that. No. So here's the deal. Facebook went live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday. They were allegedly, the rumor was, and we made very clear this was a rumor, by the way. A lot of people didn't. We made clear this was a rumor, and that's important in speculation. That Facebook was going to announce that they had Bitcoin on their balance sheet. That would have been huge news. Here's the thing, it didn't happen. The earnings call came out. They doubled their revenue in quarter one, which is insane. I don't understand how Facebook doubled their revenue in quarter one. I need to go and do more research on that. If you guys know, tell us in chat. They increased their advertising prices as part of it. But here's the thing. I didn't enter that trade because I was in a haircut, and also because you want to wait until the news breaks, and then boom, as soon as it breaks, you enter the trade. Didn't happen. Didn't make the trade. Glad I didn't. Be careful. Anyway, made my piece on that.
What does need to be addressessed, though, and by no means don't make any trades, don't make anything off this. Just because they didn't report that they bought in quarter one doesn't mean they haven't bought yet, because there is still that news about their stablecoin they're building. That just showed what they had bought through, I guess, March 31st. That they could have bought Bitcoin within this month, and that would not have gone on that chart. So that being said, we won't know for another 3 or 2.5 months, or I guess 2 months now, because we're almost at the end of April.
Yep.
But as people are saying, Facebook, there's Facebook news was BS. Here's the thing about rumors, though, and this applies to all rumors whatsoever. Whether a rumor is false or whether it is true, it was started with something that had a kernel of truth to it. So whether Facebook ever will buy Bitcoin or not, there is something that happened that caused people to have that rumor. Now there are absolutely ridiculous rumors out there, but this rumor had a lot of it had a lot of movement on it, had a lot of momentum. So I think there is something that ticked it off, that sparked it, that has a kernel of truth to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know when we're going to actually find out what that was.
No, well, I know exactly what it was. It was the fact that 2 years ago, Facebook got involved with Libra because they were trying to create their own stablecoin because they wanted to take over the digital currency space, become an online bank, and advance their mission to become the world-dominating internet superlords. Sure. Yeah, Facebook tried 2 years ago, and Libra failed because PayPal and Visa and MasterCard, and I forget the other companies that were involved in Venmo PayPal's company, they backed out of the Libra project and it kind of collapsed. They've now moved it into something called Diem, which is up in the air. I'm not really too familiar with it. The reason that people are saying that they might have Bitcoin on their balance sheet is because Tesla came out with Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They're a tech company. They're on the internet. People were like, oh, yay, let's do this. What Tim is saying, and by the way, I totally agree with Tim. Tim's saying that there was probably someone in Facebook that was under the impression that Facebook had bought Bitcoin and leaked it to a reporter, and they were wrong. There probably was a kernel of truth to it, and it just didn't happen. There is probably discussion going on at Facebook right now as to whether or not they should buy Bitcoin. So just because they haven't done it yet doesn't necessarily mean that they won't. I would keep an eye out for any articles talking about that. It's something you need to keep your finger on the pulse of. It is going to be a very big day when they do that. Another one you want to watch out for is Amazon. If Amazon starts adopting Bitcoin, game over. Bitcoin's going to 100K probably the day that news comes out. And I would be surprised if that news didn't come out within the next 12 to 24 months. Amazon wants to provide the best customer experience for its customers as possible. That's the reason they're in business. Jeff Bezos has been talking about that since 1994. Adopting Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies would be a way of them doing that. It would fulfill their own mission statement. Watch out for Amazon buying Bitcoin. When they do, that's going to be a huge, huge, huge deal. Guys, that's all I have to say on that. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel. We're posting all kinds of content here, and you're not going to want to miss it. We have some great things coming up in the next couple of days, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Guys, I think we're going to go ahead and do some technical analysis on Cardano because, as you probably know, today the Africa special is going to be going live, and we have some huge news about Cardano that we need to talk about. But first, we're going to start on the chart. So let's jump on over to my screen because there are some important updates that you need to be aware of. Cardano, just like Bitcoin, went into a pretty major downtrend, and over the course of 9 days, it pulled back from absolute top to absolute bottom 40%. That is actually very healthy for Cardano, and I'm going to tell you why. Cardano needed to correct. It didn't need to correct anywhere near as much as some of the other cryptocurrencies did, but whenever a market corrects like this, it shakes out the weak hands. It's a controlled burn, like I talked about earlier in an earlier stream. It's like a controlled burn. It's whenever you have a controlled burn in a forest, and you get rid of all the dead underbrush so that any fires in the future are safer. Right now, that's what just happened on Cardano. Cardano, just like Bitcoin is trying to, has broken its 20 daily EMA. Notice how Bitcoin has not done it yet, but Cardano has done it. This is indicating that Cardano is in a better state right now, technically, than Bitcoin is. And fundamentally speaking, as far as news is concerned, it might be in a better state also, depending on what we see later on today with the Africa special. We also see, and this is one of the big pieces of news on the Cardano chart, that Cardano just crossed bullish on its daily chart MACD. This is significant because, as I've shown you guys multiple times, whenever Cardano crosses bullish on its daily chart MACD, we always want to confirm our indicators and make sure that they're actually applicable in the situation that we're looking at them with. We can see that whenever Cardano does this, it goes into an uptrend. Cardano rally, Cardano rally, Cardano rally. Guess what? We just broke the 20 daily EMA, confirming we're back in an uptrend. We just saw a bullish MACD cross. And by the way, this bullish MACD cross has happened at the lowest point on RSI of all of the other ones in the last 4 months. Every time we've seen a bullish MACD cross, the RSI has already been higher. This means that not only are we bullish, it also means that we have more room to run than any of these other times that we've seen bullish MACD crosses on Cardano in recent months. This combined with the potential news coming out later on today, and some news that we don't have to speculate on, we know is going on, is huge. So let's go to full screen and let's discuss that. Tim, this is not in the planning document. I didn't fully hear him, but you did. Dasa was talking about Cardano's adoption going on in Ethiopia. I think there was something going on with grading and the education system and 5 million people getting on. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, well, I didn't fully read the article because I did not have time to do that. But what it is it's the issue of their plan is to help educate like 5 million Ethiopian students, I think is what it was saying.
Yep.
And I don't even want to say there was a number that was given. I don't remember the number, so this is my bad. But it was talking about comparing that to any other crypto educational system, and no one has even gotten anywhere close to 1 million, being able to help educate 1 million people, much less 5 million people. So I think we're going to find out today more details about that. And someone asked, I think it was a Tim, so shout out to all Tims. But he asked, like, is this an example of buy the news, sell the release? And I think what you're implying is this something like we bought it before because we heard Cardano Africa was coming out, and now it's here, so we should sell? I don't think that's the answer, and Jeb, disagree with me if I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you.
But this is even though we've known that it was coming, we don't know the specifics of what's happening. So Cardano Africa is the news. So wait till see what happens. We're going to hear what's happening in Cardano, which I think is going to be really big due to the, we all know Charles Hoskinson has that very cryptic tweet mentality, and he just had a video just titled Birds. That was it. I think it's something big. And so I think it's, hey, after what we see in Cardano Africa, buy the news, and then let's see where the release is, and that's when you sell.
Yeah, guys, buy the news, sell the release is something that you should generally follow. But here's the thing. With the Africa special coming out today, I don't think we've actually seen the news yet. I think a lot of people think that, oh, the news is that they're having this event, and it's called the Africa special, and Charles Hoskinson is going to get on camera. I think the news is going to come out during that event. To be honest with you, I am going to be looking for a trade. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be looking and watching the Africa special, and I might try and enter a trade on that. I am looking to invest more into Cardano, quite a bit more into Cardano. We're talking tens of thousands of Cardano. I'm looking into that today. It's something I want to do before that live stream comes out because I think big things are going to be announced. Cardano is a fantastic project, guys. Cardano is already, if I'm not mistaken, on proof of stake with Ouroboros and everything. It is a much more scalable cryptocurrency at the moment than Ethereum is. It is more adolescent than Ethereum is as far as development and market capitalization, sure. But Cardano and their founder, Charles Hoskinson, are in talks with many African nations to bring Cardano to those African nations to help build their infrastructure on top of it. That is a very big deal, and that's something that we can't ignore because remember, short-term trades have to do with news and technical analysis, but long-term movements and investments have to do with underlying fundamentals. If Cardano is getting adopted by literally millions of people in one country, and other countries may be coming online around Ethiopia in one of the fastest growing economic regions of the world. A lot of people don't know this. There's still a misconception that Africa is super poor and everybody lives in mud huts. That's not the case. Africa is one of the it is the fastest growing continent in the world right now, economically speaking, and it makes sense because there's all kinds of resources there. There's huge amounts of very intelligent human capital over there. As that continent continues to come online, and if it starts to adopt Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it's going to be incredibly powerful for Cardano and for the cryptocurrency space as a whole. We've talked about that in other streams. We can't get too deep into it today, but I do want you guys to be looking out for some rallies on Cardano based on that MACD, based on us breaking the 20 daily EMA, and based on all of the news that we have been seeing come out about the Africa special. Guys, I'm going to open the floor for some questions for the next 5 minutes or so. Any questions you have on Bitcoin, any questions you have on Ethereum or Cardano, anything about the Facebook news, go ahead and drop it in chat, and we're going to do some questions and answers. Remember, guys, if we get to 1,000 likes within the next 10 minutes, we will be going into overtime, extending the stream by 15 minutes. And if we get to 1,500 likes, we have a special segment that we would like to show you guys. So smash that like button if you haven't already.
Smash the like button.
Smash leak.
Smash
like.
Here's a great question for anyone who is a noob, and this is Ananda. I hope I'm saying that right. She said, I think it's a she, at least the picture in the thing is a girl. I have a question. Sorry, I'm a noob. That's okay.
We love our noobs.
I'm a noob. A lot of us are noobs.
How dare you be a noob?
Let us know. Hit a 1 in chat real quick if you are a noob. But she asked, how can Bitcoin become the standard currency if there's a limited supply and limited amount of transactions per second? Jeb, that is all you.
Fantastic question. So there's two questions there. Number one, by the way, we hit 1K likes, so we will be extending the stream by 15 minutes.
Let's go, guys.
So there's two questions there. Number one, if it has a limited supply, how can it become a currency? And number two, if it has limited transactional throughput, how can it become a currency? Fantastic questions. You're absolutely on the right track by asking that. And a lot of you guys can probably relate to that question, saying, Jeb, if it's got only 21 million, how is that ever going to be mass adopted as a currency? Jeb, if it can only transact 7 to 10 transactions per second, how is that going to handle the amount of transactions that a Visa does, for example? Visa processes 30,000 transactions per second. Let's back up. Bitcoin is decentralized. It is the only form of limited supply anything on the internet. For example, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, linked in the description box down below. It has artificial scarcity. We artificially make it scarce because you have to pay for it, because we invested time and money into it, because we're a business. Theoretically speaking, if we wanted to, I could give it to every single one of you and it wouldn't cost me a thing, because copy and pasting things on the internet is free. That is not the case with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first example in human history of something called digital scarcity. The internet's been around since the very late 60s. A lot of people don't know that. ARPANET went online in 1969 with 3 nodes. That was the genesis of the internet. Bitcoin is the first example of a limited supply, digitally scarce version of anything on the internet. That's why Bitcoin has value, in case anyone ever asks you. When Bitcoin is said, when someone says Bitcoin has no value, say, okay, well, why does gold have value? Gold has value because it's scarce. Bitcoin has value because it's scarce. So the question number one is, how can it become a world currency if it has a limited number of limited number of coins, and there might not be enough for everybody to have enough? Here's the thing: Bitcoin is very fungible. What does fungibility mean? Fungibility. Have you ever heard of a non-fungible token? A non-fungible token, what an NFT stands for, non-fungible means it's non-replicatable. It is one of a kind. It cannot be traded for another. If I make an NFT and you make an NFT, they're not interexchangeable. They are two different things and they hold two different value propositions. For example, if I made a copy of the Mona Lisa, it is non-fungible compared to the real Mona Lisa because they're not the same thing. They are unique. That's why NFTs have value. Bitcoin has value because all Bitcoins are fungible. That means they can be exchanged. If you have one Bitcoin and I have one Bitcoin and we exchange our Bitcoins, they're worth the same thing because they are identical and they carry the same value. Bitcoin is fungible, meaning that it is capable of being a currency. Fungibility, and which leads into being a currency, has nothing to do with the supply limit. In the Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous, I think we're going on like 3 weeks of mentioning that in every single stream, he talks about this. It's in one of the later chapters, chapter 7 or 8. He talks about the concept of how much of a currency does one need for an economy to properly function. And he talks about in the book about how for an economy to properly function, yes, it needs a certain base level of currency, the amount of a currency, so that the currency can be denominated into small amounts. For example, the US dollar breaks down into a hundredths, down to a penny. There's enough US dollars that we're all able to transact in small enough quantities that we don't need to worry about it. Bitcoin being able to be broken down into 100 million Satoshis per Bitcoin means that there is 2.1 to the 18th or whatever total divisible denotations in Bitcoin down into Satoshis. There's plenty of currency in existence. So that's the first question. That's not a problem. You can read the Bitcoin Standard. It'll explain that. The second problem is the transactional throughput. Bitcoin only processes 7 to 10 transactions per second. That is okay. And the reason is because Bitcoin is designed to be something like the gold standard, not so much like the US dollar. Bitcoin is designed to be the limited supply underpinning of the economy upon which other currencies can potentially be built, and other layer 2 solutions can potentially expand the transactional throughput of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin itself might not be the actual currency. One of the conclusions that Saifedean comes to in the Bitcoin Standard is that he doesn't think that Bitcoin will actually become the daily driver currency like US dollars. That's actually not where he sees it going. He sees Bitcoin becoming the underpinning. That's why he calls the book the Bitcoin Standard and not the Bitcoin currency. He sees it as being the underpinning of future global economies so that we are able to have a backing in the same way the US dollar used to be backed by gold. Because the US dollar was backed by gold, the US dollar's value was stable and inflation was not occurring, ripping away your wealth. When we went off the gold standard, inflation started happening, and it's been a very bad process over the last 100 years. He proposes that Bitcoin is going to become like gold in that it will be the monetary standard upon which other currencies are built. So the fact that Bitcoin only processes 7 to 10 transactions per second is not actually the end of the world because Bitcoin isn't designed to need to process 30,000 to 100,000 transactions per second. That being said, it can do that with layer 2 solutions like Lightning Network that allow for a bunch of transactions to happen off-chain and then only get updated on-chain. For example, only 7 to 10 transactions per second can happen on-chain at any one time, but there's already hundreds or thousands of transactions happening on Bitcoin right now. So how does that work? Well, the reason is because there are a lot of trades going on exchanges where instead of actually moving Bitcoin and updating the blockchain, all they do is they update the IOUs inside of the exchange saying, oh, this guy has 0.87 Bitcoin, this guy has 0.02 Bitcoin. So they move around the numbers, and then only when you withdraw off the exchange does it get updated on the blockchain. So that's another way that Bitcoin can scale above that 7 to 10 transactions per second, and that's why it's not as big of a concern as people think it is. Fantastic question. That took a minute.
I got a good follow-up question for that.
Yes.
Shmei, did you have something?
Yeah, I have a question. So does that mean, like, when you think about it, then, what is your thoughts on the possibility of potentially having our current U.S. dollar be backed by the Bitcoin and be like a Bitcoin dollar?
If the U.S. government adopts that, that would be phenomenal. In fact, that would be the ideal application of Bitcoin, which sounds like heresy in the cryptocurrency space, but if you read the Bitcoin white paper, it doesn't specifically talk about that, but it's clear that Bitcoin was designed to be something like a Bitcoin standard that underpins other currencies. At the end of the day, the entire reason the $5 trillion Forex market exists in the first place is because currencies are constantly fluctuating in valuation between themselves. The Great British Pound is worth $1 one day and $2 the next day. Those are not real numbers, I'm aware. That shouldn't happen. If all currencies are based on the same underpinning, the same standard, like they were on the gold standard, then all the currencies are fixed to each other because they're all valued based on what underlies gold. If Bitcoin becomes the underpinning of all national currencies, then we actually don't have fiat currencies anymore. Fiat currency just means it's backed by nothing. Yeah. We have solid, hard currencies because they're backed by Bitcoin. If that occurs, that's actually not a bad thing because it means the entire financial system doesn't need to be completely thrown out. It just needs to be renovated. That would be the more stable version of adopting a solid foundation for the new world economy. Here's the problem, though. It's probably not going to happen because we live in such short-sighted times where politicians get in office, and I'm not getting political here. I'm not like saying I'm on this side or this side. I am saying, however, that we have a very short-sighted political system where politicians get in office and they're interested in what happens in their 2-year or 6-year or 4-year period, and they don't look long into the future because they're not in office at that point. Talking about what they're going to do 30 years from now is not going to get them reelected. If you look at something like China being an authoritarian state, looks at what they can do over the next 30 years because they don't have to worry about getting reelected. So they're able to think long term. It's one of the reasons China's grown so quickly. The U.S. is not doing that, and therefore they're probably not going to see the value in Bitcoin, and they're probably not going to adopt it. It'd be great if they did. Don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen a couple comments in here about gold and talking about gold. What made gold valuable. Again, this is, you'll read about this in the Bitcoin Standard because it talks about how gold took over and became actually very, very valuable to the world economy. But what made gold so beneficial was the fact that it dictated what money did, not money dictating what it did. The problem with gold, and I'll explain that in just a second. The problem with gold, though, is when we were able to utilize it in a way that actually put it under the power of currency. For example, in the Roman Empire, I think it was Nero. Mm-hmm. Nero began to clip the gold coins because they had gold coins, and the value was how heavy or how much gold, how many ounces of gold were in each coin. He began to clip the amount of gold in each coin, devaluing gold. Gold continued to hold some value at that point. It continued to be a good standard, but the problem was more and more after that point, we began to let currency dictate what gold was doing, not the other way around. What makes Bitcoin valuable in the sense of how it relates back to currency and what Jeb is talking about, the US dollar being backed by it, or the Chinese yuan being backed by it, or the British pound being, whatever currency, is that it will be Bitcoin setting the rules for what those currencies are allowed to do, or what those currencies' values are, not the currency or the fiat dictating what Bitcoin is worth. That is the deal right there. When we went off the gold standard, which it was England back in the 1910s, like 1914 or something. Mm-hmm. And then when America kind of like finished it off in the 1970s, what we were saying was, hey, you know what? We no longer want to play by the rules that gold has put in for us, and we're going to make our own rules. James, and Bitcoin is coming to take that back.
James said it's called debasement. It's the same as inflation. Yeah. Inflation. Debasement is what allows for a currency to become inflated. When you debase a currency and you take out its standard, then here's the deal. So let's say you have a building and it's sitting on a foundation. What happens if you take the foundation out? All of a sudden, the building is sitting on nothing. And if there's an earthquake or if the ground settles, then the whole building is going to move. But if it has a strong foundation, the building is going to be safe. Once you take out the underpinning of a currency, unless the currency has the properties of the foundation and the whole building is the foundation, which is not the case, unless you do that, then the whole building on top of it starts wobbling around and moving and breaking and cracking. And that's what's happening to the US dollar right now. The US dollar had its foundation pulled out from under it when we removed the gold standard. And now it's sitting there with no foundation, and it's settling, and it's sinking, and it's expensive to try and fix it. And what our current financial institutions are trying to do is fix this crack, and fix this hole, and fix this roof leak. And they're trying to fix all of this when the problem is we took the foundation out from under the house. You can't fix that without putting the foundation back in it. And so at the end of the day, if we can put the foundation back under it by instituting a Bitcoin standard, that's great. The house might be okay. More likely than not, the whole house is going to fall apart and collapse and crumble, and the people in the house are going to get very hurt, and we're going to have to start from scratch with a solid foundation. What is that solid foundation? It is none other than Bitcoin. And that, my friends, is why you should buy Bitcoin. That, my friends, is why I have 70% of my entire net worth in Bitcoin. That is why Bitcoin is the future, and that is why Bitcoin is hard money, is because it represents a foundation stronger than any foundation that we have ever had upon any currency in all of history that the world economy can and will be built upon. It's a great question that whoever asked.
Yeah. I have two questions for you, Jeb.
Okay.
And we're trying to let these go in
1,500 likes, and we have a special segment coming up, by the way.
Like the stream.
The first question is, someone was asking what platform should they use for trading? What trading platform should they use?
Yeah, so we recommend Bybit. The link is in the description box down below. If you sign up for Bybit, not only are you going to be getting access to a fantastic cryptocurrency exchange that we personally recommend, you'll also be helping to support this channel. So if you sign up with the link below, like I said, great uptime, great customer service, great user interface, really intuitive, fantastic. It's a great platform, and you should use it. The link's down below.
I had another one. I'm looking for the exact wording. I don't want to get it wrong. Oh, man. I'm not finding it. Oh, here we go. I need the wording for it. John Paul Ballestero. He asked, when do you think the next bear cycle is? He asked me, I by no means have the expertise to give that answer. I don't even know if Jeb has a hard date. I don't know if Jeb, you can give a month, you can give a period. Like, what is your thought on that?
You know, a lot of people have asked me that question, and there's a reason that we haven't spoken a lot on it is because it's really hard to tell. At the end of the day, normally the thing that warns you that a bear market is coming is when you go incredibly parabolic and you get massively overvalued. Bitcoin has not gone incredibly parabolic in the last 3 months. It did, but now we're holding up here, so we've confirmed that we're where we should be. Bitcoin going into a bear market is something that I can only predict a couple of months out. I don't think it's going to happen in the next couple of months, so I can't really tell you exactly when it's going to occur. There's a lot of people, like, for example, I think Ben over at BitBoy Crypto, he's talking about Bitcoin going into a bear market in October. I don't want to misquote him. I'm pretty sure that's what his opinion is. Go check his channel. I'm sure that he'll find that out. Subscribe to him. He's great. I personally cannot find a good reason to put a date or even a month on it. I do, however, think that before the bull market is over, we will go well north of $100,000, probably up to $200,000 or $250,000. I can't give you a time, though. I can tell you this. When that bear market starts to come, we will be talking about it, and we will likely have a relatively accurate prediction on it because there are a ton of metrics that I look at on a weekly basis to see if a bear market is coming. I have like 10 different indicators that only flash when a bear market is starting, so if that does occur, we will be talking about it. So I do encourage you to subscribe to the channel and stay updated because if it occurs, we will start to tell you. I'm not saying it right now, though.
Yeah. On that note, I have another question for you. But if you are new here, because I've seen a lot of questions from people that are new, we are so glad you're here.
Yeah.
You're welcome. If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you tune in every single day because we help break down this stuff for you daily, Monday through Friday, 9:30, and then our afternoon videos as well that usually air somewhere between 2 to 2:30, depending on the time. But make sure you subscribe because this will help you a lot. Good question from another person who's new, and this, I think there might be probably a lot of people asking this question, and I want Jeb to give the answer. I know his answer, but I want him to give it very detailed for you. Someone asked, I am new, should I buy Cardano now? And I want us to kind of plan this because the answer is, in a way, yes, but there's a rule to when and how you buy that Jeb is very clear about.
Yes.
That I want him to give you the answer for.
Yes, so there's two things you have to think about before you enter any position on anything. Before you buy a house, before you buy a stock, before you buy a car, before you buy a cryptocurrency. Here are the two questions. Please remember this. This will help you. Number one, what is your risk tolerance? Essentially what that means is that if I lose all of the money that I just put into this investment or into this asset or into this liability, like a car and a house are not really investments, they're more of liabilities. If I put money into this, can I lose it? And if I can't lose it, how much would I care if I can't lose it? That's called your risk tolerance. That's one of the things we teach in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy because it is absolutely pivotal. You have to understand how much risk you're able to take. For example, I'm 20 years old. I have a pretty high risk tolerance. That's why 80 to 85% of my entire net worth is in cryptocurrency, even though cryptocurrency is relatively risky compared to something like the stock market. I don't think it's very risky. A lot of people do. I have very high risk tolerance because I'm probably going to live another 70 years. If you're 65 and retired and you don't have an income anymore, your risk tolerance is much lower. You can't tolerate much risk because you don't have as much future earning potential. I am currently the CEO of a 13-man company that is probably going to have over 100 employees in the next 2 years. I can be fast and loose with my money. I don't do that because I have a vision for what I want to do with my money, which is to be incredibly generous with it. So I don't go and buy flashy things. You guys saw I bought a Camry, which is great. That I can make in a day the amount of money that Camry costs. That is not a flashy thing for me, and I need a new car. I save my money not because I need to, but because I want to, because I want to use it for good purposes, which we're going to talk more about that in future videos. We have a whole charity thing coming up. Just watch out for that. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see us using crypto for what it was actually intended to do. So the number one question is, what is your risk tolerance? I have a very, very high risk tolerance. I also have a very, very high time horizon. So number one is risk tolerance. Number two is time horizon. Time horizon is this. Am I doing what I'm doing for a return tomorrow, or for a return next week, or for a return a year from now, or for a return 10 years from now? This is where the whole concept of delayed versus instant gratification comes from. Have you ever heard the expression, two birds in the hand is worth one in the bush? You have two in your hand, or excuse me, two birds in the bush is worth one, whatever it is. The point is that should you go and try and get these other birds and give up the bird that you have right now? It's about investment is what it is. Am I going to spend resources now on the distant future, or am I going to spend resources right now on today? I have an extremely long time horizon. In the Bitcoin Standard, it actually talks about it. It's called time preference in his case. Time preference is, are you interested in investing for the future, or are you interested in investing for now? By investment, I mean spending, I should say. Part of who I am is that I naturally make decisions with 10, 20, 30 years out in mind. And that's why I've become successful, is because I look far to the future. I have a very far time horizon. So here's the thing. If you're buying Cardano, you also need to ask a third question, because this is where investments come in. Are you buying it for an investment, or are you buying it for a trade? If you're looking to trade it, I think it's a pretty good idea to trade Cardano right now, because the Africa special is going to come out. We are pretty confident that it's going to be very good news. It's probably going to pump the price. Statistically speaking, it's not a bad idea to get into Cardano right now for a trade. If you're looking to invest in it, also, I think it's a good trade. So I didn't need to tell you those two things to tell you it was a good trade and a good investment, but you need to know those things if you're going to be a profitable cryptocurrency trader and investor. Yeah. That's why education is so important, guys. And if you're interested in learning more about technical analysis and how you really ought to look at these markets so you can actually make money in them and not gamble on one altcoin rallying to the moon and follow the steps that made me a crypto millionaire and everybody else in YouTube who has ever actually done it, follow the link in the description box down below and sign up for CT2A.
Last question about ADA or Cardano, and I'm going to answer it for you, Jeb, so we'll just be real quick. Someone was also asking about, is there anything big happening in Cardano other than this? The other reason why I think Cardano is a good hold and a good investment, Alonzo will be coming out in August. So that's months away, but Alonzo is going to be an adoption of smart contracts. Like, that's one of Cardano's, like, when people hate on Cardano, that's been the thing they've been hating on for so long. It's like, oh, it's not even doing anything. It's not even doing anything. It's not even doing anything. Well, that's because Charles has been very, very wise and timely about making sure when he actually launches things, they kill it. They don't die on spot. They're not just flashes in the pans. They actually work. And what's crazy is Cardano doing as well as what is it ranked? It's ranked. If you go to
6,
is number 6, despite the fact that it's not even fully operating yet. Imagine what's going to happen when it actually starts operating in August. That Alonzo project is going to go a massive way in doing that. Last question before we wrap up, though, and give you guys the updates on what's happening with our predictions for tomorrow is, Jeb, people were asking about how you learned all these things. It's like people were commenting, you guys were saying, Jeb, you're only 20. What the heck? You're so young. How did you learn this? And how can I learn all this stuff the way you did? What's your answer to that, Jeb?
If you've never read this book, you need to read it. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's sold 30 million copies. Stephen R. Covey has made millions and millions of dollars from this book. I'm going to be brief on this because we only have a few minutes left. Habit number 7, it's the habit that this entire book points to. It's called sharpen the saw. Sharpening the saw means that every single day you should be improving yourself in some way, shape, or form. You should be growing every single day. Here at our company, one of our core values is growth-oriented. It's how do I get better every single day? Because here's a fun fact for you. If you compound $1,000 at 1% a day for an entire year, 365 days, you will have $37,000. In a year, you can turn $1 into $37 if you compound it at 1% a day. It's absolutely critical that you understand that. Here's what I did to learn everything about technical analysis. I spent thousands of hours learning it the hard way. I watched tons of YouTube videos. By the way, there's 8,760 hours in a year. It's a good number to know just to put things in perspective. I've spent probably 4,000 or 5,000 hours in the last 4 years doing nothing but learning technical analysis and fundamentals of cryptocurrency. It took forever. You know what would have saved me a lot of time and money, because time is money, is taking a course that will teach you all of that in 12 hours or less. By the way, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, linked in the description box down below, is the culmination of all of the education that I have given myself in the cryptocurrency space. So if you want to learn all of this much quicker than I did, because I did it the dumb way because I was broke and I had no money to buy a course. If you want to learn this the quick way, then you want to do so with the link in the description box down below. And by the way, for everybody in CT2A, we have some crazy, crazy cool things coming out relatively soon. Guys, join with the link down below. If you have any questions about that, feel free to email us at support@cryptojeb.com. We will get back to you in a timely manner. And guys, we have 2 minutes to hit 1,500 likes, and we are not doing our special segment. So smash that like.
I'm going to do something, guys.
Do it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to stare at you guys for 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
That gives you 10 seconds to get this live stream up to 1,500 likes. Okay? Starting now.
Do 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 do.
Like the stream.
Like the stream.
I saw a lot of, I want to make sure you guys are aware. I saw a lot of comments about XRP, questions about XRP, thoughts about XRP. You don't We will
hit
answer this
1,500
future.
likes.
We will answer that in a little.
Did we
You don't
really?
want to
Yes.
hear our answers on XRP. All right, if we're gonna do that, let me first. We gotta update
You gotta do the
them on
price
on
prediction.
competition.
Okay, we'll go a couple minutes
So
long
for those of
today.
you who have been watching for a while, you guys have already solidified yourself. Are you Team Jeb, Team Tim, or Team Smay? I know there's lots of different hashtags going on with that. The chop the tree, cut the
Hashtag chop the
beard.
tree, cut the beard.
Not happening this week, I don't think, but it's up to you guys. What do you guys think is going to happen there? So, on Monday, we predicted the price of what these three coins, Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, would look like at 9:30 on Friday, and here is where we are sitting. Well, Smay said 145 for Cardano, Jeb said 133, and I said $1.70, and we are currently sitting at 137 before Cardano Africa, so let us know what you think. I like my prediction, but let us know what you think. For Ethereum, Smay said 2,600 flat, Jeb said 2,628, and I said 3,000. We are currently sitting at 2,773 with a recent all-time high hit at 2,800. We'll see. Do we have the momentum to keep going? Is it going to kind of come back down? What's going to happen there? Let us know. I know there's some options closing tomorrow that
Yep.
I think are going to actually point bullish, but we'll see. Last one, Bitcoin. Smay said 59,000 even. Jeb said 55,500, and I said 55,000. Or sorry, Jeb said 55,500. Yeah, okay. And I said 55,000 flat. I like where I'm sitting with that, but you know, in this game, anything could change at any second. But what do you think? Are you Team Tim? It looks like I'm going to pull wins. I think I potentially might win all three of these. It doesn't matter if I win all three. It's winner takes all. But are you Team Jeb or are you Team Smay? Let us know. The name Tim is superior, as this chat has talked about throughout the whole stream.
It is
But
good to see that
that
Krista.
being said,
It is
you know,
good to see that Krista is in chat because the segment that we were about to go
Oh, my
into
word.
is for
Okay,
Krista.
can I say the best part is my dad's in the stream right now?
I know, I saw him.
Oh
Your dad's
my
in the stream.
gosh.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
gosh.
Smay's dad's here. I saw that.
All right,
He told him to talk into the mic.
stall, guys. I'm about to
Okay, I have
I'm
it
about to
up.
set up.
I have it up. Okay, we gotta get set up, guys.
Wait, what do you have up? What are you pulling up?
I have the
the lyrics?
Oh, okay.
you weren't supposed to say it.
Yeah, what the heck? All right, let me.
Okay, Krista, you better be watching. Okay, he just unplugged his mic. He's got to give him a second to get set up here. I love that his dad is
my
here. That's
gosh.
hilarious. This is going to be great. We got to go all out. We got to go all out. Oh, you got to switch it to yourself, you know. It's on
Yeah,
me.
I'm about to.
Okay.
I'm making sure everything's set up.
Special production here. We didn't know we were going to get to 1,500
Yeah,
likes.
we actually,
so-
I didn't
Hello,
think it was
hello.
actually going to happen.
Can you hear me?
Mic
all
check,
right.
mic check. Is he audible?
Boom. Hello, everybody.
Are you, they can hear you?
What? Yeah,
They can hear
I think
okay,
so. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
I was trying to listen.
Krista, this is for you. You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. Tell me why
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Oh, tell me why.
I never wanna hear you say
I
want it that way.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Someone said this is bigger than the 88 news. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Someone said this is what they do in the office all day, and you're right. This is what we do in
We're
the office all
releasing
day.
an album soon.
We are
Look
releasing an
for
album
it.
soon.
We'll release that as an NFT.
We should do that. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my
What do you think,
gosh.
Krista? That was for you.
Oh my god. I can't read all the chat. It's blowing. It's blowing up.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
I am so glad that we hit 1,500 likes.
All right. Well. Yep. Anything else you got for us?
That's gonna do it, guys. If you
Make sure
enjoy,
12:30.
what's that?
Make sure we come in at 12:30.
Oh yeah, join us in like 2 hours because we're going to be going live again to watch the Cardano Africa special. So make sure you tune in for that, guys. Smash that like button for Smay and his angelic voice. I bet you didn't know he was so good at singing. This man sings opera around the office just because. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, guys. This is a fantastic channel. Not bragging, but we have a great team, and we want to bring you the best quality information in cryptocurrency to make you successful in this space. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That is going to wrap it out for today's live stream, though, guys. So without much further ado, let's go. go ahead and dive right on into it. Ruin the outro. How about
Wow,
that?
you don't even know the outro anymore.
Before we go, though, guys, I do just want to first thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.